Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, I want to tell you a story. It's about two friends, Alex and Ben. Both of them landed their first real jobs around the same time, earning pretty much the same salary. They were excited, ready to take on the world. Alex was a planner. Every time he got his paycheck, he had this little ritual. He'd sit down with a cup of coffee and a simple notebook. He called it his money map. In this notebook, he'd write down his salary. Then, he'd list all the things he had to pay for: rent, bills, groceries, his student loan payment. He always made sure these essentials were covered first. What was left over, he'd split into 3 small piles. One pile was for fun, going out with friends, movies, that new video game he wanted. The second pile went straight into a savings account he labeled emergency fund. He told me it was for life's surprise curveballs, like a car repair or a sudden trip. The third smallest pile, he put into another account for long-term goals, like a down payment on a house someday. He wasn't putting away huge amounts, just a little from every paycheck, consistently. Now, let's talk about Ben. Ben was more of a live-in-the-moment kind of guy. When his paycheck hit his account, it felt like party time. A new gadget. Why not? A fancy dinner with friends. Absolutely. A weekend trip. He deserved it. Ben believed in enjoying the fruits of his labor right away. He thought budgeting was boring and complicated. He figured he was young, and there would always be more paychecks to come. He'd often say, "I'll start saving next month." But next month never seemed to arrive. His bank account was like a roller coaster, full one day and empty the next, often leaving him stressed and waiting for the next payday. A year went by. One rainy Tuesday, Alex's car broke down. The mechanic gave him a hefty bill. For a moment, Alex felt that knot of panic in his stomach. But then he remembered his emergency fund. He had enough saved to cover the repair without going into debt or having to borrow money. It wasn't fun to spend the money, but he was so relieved he had it. He was back on the road in a couple of days, his life barely disrupted. Around the same time, Ben got a fantastic opportunity. His favorite band announced a surprise concert in a nearby city. Tickets were selling out fast. Ben desperately wanted to go. He checked his bank account. It was almost empty. He'd just bought the latest smartphone and had been out with friends a lot that month. He felt a wave of regret. He had the income, but he had no money. He ended up having to miss the concert, feeling frustrated and disappointed. It wasn't a huge life crisis, but it was a wake-up call. He realized his spending habits were making him miss out on things that truly mattered to him. Fast forward 5 years. Alex's money map notebook was now a simple spreadsheet, but the principle was the same. His emergency fund was fully stocked. His small, consistent investments for his long-term goals had started to grow, thanks to the magic of compounding. He was now seriously looking at properties, feeling confident and in control of his future. He still had a budget for fun, so he never felt like he was missing out. In fact, he enjoyed his spending more because it was good. Ben, on the other hand, was still living paycheck to paycheck. He had a better job and a higher salary, but his lifestyle had inflated right along with it. He had a nice apartment and a cool car, but he also had a mountain of credit card debt. He was constantly stressed about money. That feeling of being rich for a day and broke for the rest of the month had become his normal. He saw Alex making plans for the future and felt a pang of envy. He wished he had started his own money map all those years ago. One day, Ben finally sat down with Alex. He was tired of the financial stress. He asked Alex, "How did you do it? It seems so complicated." Alex just smiled and pulled out his old worn-out notebook. He said, "It was never about being a math genius or depriving myself. It was just about giving every dollar a job. Some dollars were for rent, some were for groceries, some were for fun, and some were for my future self. I just decided to pay my future self first, even if it was just a little bit." That conversation changed everything for Ben. He didn't try to fix everything overnight. He started small, just like Alex did. He started tracking where his money was going. He was shocked to see how much he was spending on things he didn't even care about, like daily expensive coffees and subscription services he never used. He created his own simple budget. He automated a small transfer to a savings account the day he got paid, so he wouldn't even be tempted to spend it. It was hard at first. He had to say no to some things, but slowly he started to feel something he hadn't felt in years: control. The story of Alex and Ben isn't about one being good and one being bad. It's a story about awareness and intention. It's about understanding that financial freedom isn't about how much you make, but about what you do with what you have. It's about building a system, no matter how simple, that aligns your spending with your values and your goals. Whether you're an Alex or a Ben right now, it's never too late to start drawing your own money map. The journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step, or in this case, with a single dollar given a specific job. What do you think? Can you relate more to Alex or Ben? Let me know in the comments below. I'd love to hear your stories and your own tips for managing your money. Thanks for watching, and if you found this story helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe for more content. See you in the next one.